Oh, hello. This is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I cook every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. People used to ask me, do you ever get tired of cooking? My answer is that I don't. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you one of the reasons that I enjoy cooking so much. Here's an example. Recently, my wife and I was out and about. We arrived home shortly after 7. In the past, we probably would have stopped somewhere, get some fast food, or eat at a restaurant. And the reason we don't is that, first of all, we know that the food that we're going to make at home is going to be healthier for us. And on top of that, it will taste better. And of course, it costs less as well. But most importantly, I really enjoy cooking. Because I can do anything I would like to, I can choose whatever ingredients that I want that I would not be able to find in a restaurant. And now both my wife and I love shrimp, and we both enjoy egg as well. Now I have cooked egg and shrimp dish many times in the past, but we also like olive. So for dinner that night, we decided, how about we combine all three of them together? It is this kind of creativity that I really enjoy, and this is something that you could not do when you go out to eat. Okay, so let us go into the kitchen and see what we can do. You know, one of the greatest benefits about home cooking is that you can choose the ingredients that you like. I particularly like this brand of shrimp. It is tailless and it's about the right size. I have gone through quite a few different brands of shrimp, and this one definitely is my favorite. If I go out in a restaurant, I probably would not like the shrimp that they serve me. It is individually frozen, so you can run some water and put them in a bowl, and they will be thawed out in about a few minutes. Another important benefit of home cooking is that you can cook the shrimp any way you want to. So in this case, I'm going to coat them lightly with cornstarch. And I will tell you more about the reason why I do that later on. Another great benefit of home cooking is that you can choose whatever ingredients that you want to put in the dish. Here I decided I'm going to put in some olive. I bet nowhere else I could have this dish made for me. Here I have the olive thinly sliced. I'm going to beat up 6 eggs for this dish. It'll be plenty enough for both my wife and I. So the last ingredients that I need is some scallions. I have already some cut up and ready to be used in the refrigerator. So in about 15 minutes, I have everything ready, and now I'm going to cook. I'm going to use canola oil for cooking this dish. I have a video that I explain why I choose canola oil. However, you could use any cooking oil that you would like. Again, this is one great benefit about home cooking. Now, to cook this dish, it is important that the wok is well seasoned. So I use my method, which I call it the spot seasoning method, and you can take a look at this video. I'm going to cook the shrimp in advance because in order to combine the shrimp and the eggs together, since the egg cooks very quickly, cooking the shrimp in advance is really important. Now I coat the shrimp with cornstarch, and the reason is that this provides the shrimp a light coating. It makes it almost like it is deep fried, but the method I'm going to use in here is known as a shallow fry. This will give the shrimp a slight crisp texture. However, there's another important advantage of this method is that by coating the shrimp with cornstarch, it basically protects the shrimp directly against the heat of the oil. So the end result is that the shrimp tend to be more moist within. However, since I'm not using a lot of cornstarch, it makes the frying process as well as the shrimp less greasy, and so it makes it more healthy. As you notice here, what I do is that I use a pair of tongs to spread out the shrimp on the surface of the wok. The nice thing about this approach is that I can fry the shrimp and give a little bit more crispy texture. And the tongue is much easier to handle the shrimp as in comparison to using the wok spatula at this point. From the personal standpoint, I really like the Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok because it has a larger flat bottom area compared to other type of wok. So it can be doubled as a small frying pan. The texture of the shrimp is very important to me. I do not like shrimp when they overcook. So I put a watchful eyes when I'm cooking this shrimp. I want to cook them to about maybe 90% done because then they will cook a little bit more when I mix them with the eggs. So as you can see that by now the shrimp is done, and I picked them up and set them aside, and now I'm going to get ready to cook the egg next. The next step is for me to cook the egg. I'm going to set the shrimp aside. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to the wok. You notice that after I add the oil, because the wok is still very hot, it starts to smoke slightly, and this is the time when the wok will be seasoned further. And for this dish, it is important for the wok to be seasoned. Now, as soon as I pour the eggs into the wok, you notice that the eggs start to bubble. This is actually a good sign. It's indicated that the egg is not sticking to the bottom of the wok. I'm going to season the dish with the basic seasoning mix that I put together. And if you want to know more about the ingredients that in this seasoning mix, you can take a look at this video. Right after that, I add the olive to the wok, and I follow by adding the shrimp. Cooking this egg dish is very interesting because it is a cross between an omelette and a scrambled egg. As you notice that I fold the egg over the ingredients like I would have making an omelette, but I then break up the egg a little bit as I would make a scrambled egg. Finally, I garnish it with some scallion and mix it just a few more times. The dish is ready to be served. As you can see, the cook time is very, very fast, and that's why we need to have the shrimp to be cooked in advance, because otherwise it will be never have enough time for it to cook. So as you can see here, what I have shown you is in real time. Cooking the egg in this particular dish is very, very fast, and this could only be achieved in the wok. And this combination of omelette and scrambled egg give a wonderful texture to the egg. And of course, you can tell this is just a template, and you can substitute the shrimp with other ingredients. For example, you can use mushroom, or you can use ham, particularly any food ingredients that already cook or do not require too much cooking. This dish would do very well. And actually, one of the most common used ingredient in cooking this dish is tomatoes. We already have some rice in the refrigerator, so my wife and I ate this with rice that we warm up in the microwave. The time from we walk in the kitchen to when we have this dish on the table is a little bit less than 20 minutes. We definitely would not have been able to do better if we stop at a fast food restaurant. Definitely not with the quality of food that we can cook at home. We really enjoyed this dish. A unique combination that we have never had before. This is something that we will definitely do again. What I have demonstrated here is the template-based approach. I use this basic egg template, which I call it the Fuyang egg template. Instead of olive in the future, I could substitute it with something else. For example, I can substitute the black olives with green olives. Both my wife come to love olive during our trip in Spain. When we drive across Spain, we find there are numerous olive plantations all over the place. We have never seen so many olive trees before, so we stopped at a small town and visit one of the plantations. We were delighted to meet the plantation manager. He gave us a tour, and he told us the tree on the plantation is almost all of them are over 200 to 300 years old. I did not realize that olive can be so old. Then he further on and told us that in fact olive trees are one of the oldest trees on earth. Some of the olive trees are over thousands years old, and here's one of those trees that's found in Greece. Another well-known tree is a tree that I found in Palestine, and that is the tree actually existed at the time of Christ. Looking at this tree really gives me a sense of the perspective of my own life. Almost all of this 1,000 years old olive tree, they are still produce olive that are used for making olive oil. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please press like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.